Alright, econ students. In this video, what we're going to look at is this thing called production cost. So we've been talking about supply and how the quantity supplied is determined by price and what happens if input costs change and things like that. But now what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about production. How many goods should I produce? And what happens if I keep producing goods? So in this one, we're talking about cost, which is different than price. Price is what you can sell it for. It's the price people are willing to pay for it, really. Cost has to do with production. And so when I produce a good like lemonade, it costs me money in order to create it. It's the costs I incur in order to produce something. So in our example, we're going to stick with lemonade because I have a lemonade stand. And we're just going to arbitrarily right now pick a dollar for the price. All right, so this is going to be a price, and we'll use that for our example a little bit later. But we want to know what are some of the costs associated with being able to produce this, because I can't just snap my fingers and get lemonade. I have to create it somehow. So off the top of your head, you can start thinking about, well, what are some of the things I would need in order to make or have my own lemonade stand? And so we can be thinking, well, you need a worker, right? So I need somebody to make the lemonade, to run the lemonade stand. So I need some sort of labor or worker, and that's a cost for me. So I have to pay him money in order to produce lemonade and sell lemonade. So that's a cost, right? And you might also think, well, I need lemons, right? So I have to have lemons. What else do I need? Now I just have a worker and lemons. I don't have lemonade yet. I probably need some sugar. I need cups. Right? I might need a pitcher. I might need a juicer. I might need a variety of these other things, right? So these goods are needed, right? Those are all input costs, right? These are inputs that go into here in order to have an output of lemonade. Right? I can't get lemonade unless I have some of these inputs, right? So these are my input costs. What's going to happen if I want to increase my output? What do I have to do with inputs, right? So let's say with one worker, 10 lemons, a pound of sugar, and 50 cups. Let's say I can produce, I don't know, let's just say with that I can produce 100 cups of lemonade. If I want to change that from 100 to 200, what has to happen to my inputs? Well, what do you think would have to happen to my number of workers? I might be able to stick with one worker, but I might increase it to 2 workers, right? If I want to produce 2,000 cups, do you think one worker is going to be able to do that? Or 4,000 cups, is it going to be one worker? I'm probably going to have to increase my number of workers. What about the number of lemons? Well, I can't just use the same amount of lemons to produce 100 cups as 200 cups, or 100 cups or 1,000 cups. I'm going to need to increase my lemons. Same with sugar, same with cups, things like that. Right, so what we call these inputs, these are called variable. I'll just try to add it right here. These are variable costs. Why are they variable? Well, they're variable because as I increase my output, as I increase this number over here, let's say I increase it to 2,000, what's going to happen to the costs associated with producing 2,000 compared to 200? Well, my costs are going to go up. This is something that a lot of people misunderstand or forget about, is that in order to produce more, it's going to cost me more. I can't increase production at 0 extra cost. So I need to keep in mind that more production means more variable costs. Right? But that's not the only cost associated with production. I also have this thing right here. I need to have my stand. Sorry. I need to have my stand. There you go. So this doesn't matter. I could produce 1 cup. Right? So I could produce just 1 cup, or I could produce 10 cups, or I could produce 100 cups, and no matter what, I still just have my stand. I have my one stand, I had to buy the stand, and once I have that stand, it doesn't matter how many I produce. I could produce 1, 10, or 100. It doesn't change the cost of my stand. So let's say the stand cost me $50 to make, create, build, put up, whatever it is. This doesn't change. Right? It always is going to cost me just the $50. And once I pay the $50, I have the stand. I never have to pay it again. That's it. Right? But that's different than workers, lemons, sugar, cups in order to get lemonade. So this is not a variable. You can probably guess what it is. It's not a variable cost that changes with the amount of output that I have, but this is a fixed cost. All right, it's fixed because it doesn't matter if I produce 1, 10, or 100. It's fixed. It stays exactly the same. It's $50. I spent $50. I got a lemonade stand. There you go. Now I could produce 0. Even if I produce 0, I still paid the $50 to get my lemonade stand. Now it doesn't make a lot of sense to produce 0 and have a lemonade stand, but I already bought the lemonade stand. I have the lemonade stand. But it takes more money. It takes my variable costs in order to get the inputs in order to produce an output. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to kind of push that just big, broad concept off to the side. We want to look at some numbers and see if we can have it make sense. So this quantity is our options of how many I can produce. Because remember, what happens is I produce more, my input costs go up, my variable costs go up, and therefore it costs me more. So I can't just produce an infinite amount. So one option I could have is to produce 0. All right, so that's an option, and we'll look at some numbers there. I could produce 1, 2, 3, 4, I could produce 5, and let's just say I could produce 6. And obviously that could keep going up. But let's look at it with those few options. Now, can anybody take a guess? I would be impressed if you know the answer to this one. But if I produce 0, what do you think my cost is? So FC is fixed cost. Sorry, I didn't say that. And VC is variable cost, and this is revenue. But does anybody know, do I have any cost if I just produce a quantity of 0? It doesn't mean I'm sitting on my couch at home, but I could produce 1. I choose to produce 0. What do I still have to pay? I still have to pay my fixed cost. So I still have a fixed cost associated with the production of 0, of quantity 0. And my fixed cost, before it was 50, I'm going to make our numbers simple in this example over here. But let's just say my fixed cost is $1. In other words, it's not dependent. It's like my stand. It cost me $1 to put up my cardboard lemonade stand. I made a cardboard lemonade stand sign, buy your lemonade here. It cost me $1. All right, so that's the fixed cost. Well, what's my variable cost when I produce 0? Do I need any workers? No. Do I need any lemons? No. Sugar? No. Cups? No. All right, so I don't have any variable cost. How much revenue do I have? So revenue is the price times the quantity. Well, I don't sell any, so I have a revenue of 0. All right, now what we want to do is we want to kind of keep track of profit off to this side over here. All right, so I'm going to add a little column, and we're going to try to track profit as well. All right, so what's my profit for this one? Well, my profit is my revenue minus my cost. All right, so profit is revenue minus cost, which here my revenue is 0 and my cost is 1, so I'm down $1. I paid $1 for my lemonade stand. I didn't use it to sell lemonade. I lost $1. All right. Next one. I decide to sell a quantity of 1. I have my fixed cost of 1, so I do have my lemonade stand. But now I'm going to incur a variable cost. And let's just say in order to get 1 cup, a lemon, and stuff like that, let's just say it cost me 75 cents in order to do that. Right? Well, now I do have a revenue, right? And we're going to stick to this price that we had here before, where it was $1. So I have, price, which is 1, times quantity of 1, which gives me a revenue of 1, right? So I have a revenue of 1 minus my cost, which is $1.75. So here I'm down 75 cents. Right? So I have my lemonade stand, I make 1 cup, I sell my 1 cup, but with the fixed cost and the variable cost, I'm still not profitable. I'm down 75 cents. All right, now let's look at 2 cups. So let's say I sell 2 cups, I still have a fixed cost of 1. Now what's going to happen to my variable cost? Is my variable cost still going to be 75 cents? No, I need another cup, I need another lemon maybe, I need a little bit more sugar, I still have my 1 worker, and so we're going to call this one 95 cents. Just like that. All right. My revenue now is 2 times 1, right? So I sell 2 at $1 a piece, which I have a revenue of $2, which means now I'm not quite losing money like I was before. I have a revenue of 2 minus the $1.95 of my cost. Right, there's my cost, right? So now I'm making 5 cents. Right? I'm profitable. I made 5 cents. Right? I spent $1 on my stand. I spent 95 cents on my inputs for lemonade. I sold 2 of them, and so I am profitable by 5 cents. It's a good day. All right, now let's look what happens at 3. So 3, I still have a fixed cost of 1. What's going to happen to my variable cost as I sell another one? Well, my variable cost is going to go up again. So let's say now my variable cost is $1.50. Well, what happens? What's my revenue? Well, my revenue is I sell 3 at $1 a piece, so my revenue is 3. Right? So what's my profit over here? Well, it cost me $2.50, and I brought in $3, so now I'm up 50 cents. There you go, 50 cents. Yes, I'm profitable. My profit's increasing by a lot. So I should keep selling more and more and more. But you might be able to see what could possibly happen if I keep increasing my production. Do you think my profit is going to go up, or do you think my profit may ever go down? And why would it go down? Let's try it again. Let's say my fixed cost is 1 still. It's fixed. Let's say now my variable cost instead of $1.50 is $2.50. Right? So now what is my revenue? My revenue is 4. My cost, now you can see my cost is $3.50. Right? So my cost is $3.50. Uh-oh. So my profit now is still only 50 cents. Right? So my profit didn't actually go up from this one to that one. And now let's look at 5. Right? So let's do this is $1. Now let's say that this is $4.50. All right, so $4.50. So now my costs are $5.50. Right? So my costs are $5.50, but I'm looking at revenue. Revenue is I sell 5 at $1 a piece, so my revenue is 5. And now I'm actually down 50 cents. So I lost 50 cents. So my revenue is 5 and my costs are $5.50. So I'm not profitable anymore. Right? And you could probably see that if I do another example. If I do a fixed cost of 1, and now let's say my variable costs are let's just say my variable costs are $7.50. Right? My revenue is 6. This is $8.50 for my cost, so I'm down $2.50. So I'm not profitable at all. So you can see in this example, as I was selling more, my profits were going up to a point, and then my profits started to fall. And the reason is because variable costs keep on increasing. It gets more expensive in order to produce more goods. So what we're going to do in the next video is try and figure out how do I know? I know I have my profit right here, but how do I make a good decision about how many? I want to be profitable. What's an easy way to assess whether I'm profitable or not? Or what's an easy way to figure out what's a good decision? Should it be 1 or 5 or 2 or 10? What are the things I look at to make that judgment?